Hello, beautiful people. It's me, Maureen, and I wanted to talk about how we shouldn't stop talking, right? And I know it sounds contradictory, right? Because we have two ears and one mouth, and sometimes we can talk too much, right? And trust me, I know I've been there, and I am that person quite often. But I have found that there's so much healing in talking, especially when you think you shouldn't talk. So whenever you are struggling with feelings of depression, feelings of isolation, feelings of loneliness, feelings of anger, feelings of whatever, negative emotions. And I have a good friend, Danielle Simmons, that says we need to speak out the darkness inside of us. So whatever darkness is inside of us, when we speak it, we release it, and we get light, and we get love, and we get joy back somehow by just releasing it. And I just want to encourage you to not stop talking when you feel, especially when you feel like not talking. And especially, and I really wanted to talk about marriage with this, because a lot of the times when I grew up kind of with a lot of silent treatment, right? From people in my life, people, if I did something wrong, somebody would give me this silent treatment, and I thought this was normal. And for years and years, I thought this was normal. So whenever Tim did something to me, I would just keep quiet and just wouldn't talk to him. So rather than facing him and being like, I don't like that you did this, I would just give him the silent treatment. And did you know that the silent treatment is a form of manipulation? I did not know this till last year, maybe this year. I've been learning so much. The more I do, inner healing work, and inner child work, I'm watching videos and reading books, and I'm just like, wow. So when we refuse to communicate, we actually make situations more difficult. So in your marriage, if your husband does something to you and you don't tell him, you don't confront him, you don't talk about it, it just brings this wedge between you guys, and there ends up being this big, huge gulf, and space between you guys. Whereas if you talk it out, even if you yell it, right? Yell it if you have to, scream if you have to. I think there's more danger in a couple that does not talk about things than in a couple that fights all the time. I think fighting is a sign of life. Fighting is a sign that you're both passionate about this relationship and you both want more. Fighting is a sign of life, and I recommend and I urge you to fight, argue, talk. Just let it out. Now, obviously, be kind with how you fight, which is easier said than done, right? But I've learned that even if I'm not kind in how I fight, to apologize, or when I catch myself, to be like, okay, wait, Tim, I'm sorry that I said this. I'm sorry for how I said it, or, stuff like that. So, but at least I'm letting it out. And I'm going to give you an example. So, if you've watched any of my videos about marriage, like 2-3 years ago, my marriage was just really, really, really awful. And I'm convinced, without a shadow of a doubt, I have a Baba coming in here. Hello, come. Without a shadow of a doubt, that it's because we stopped talking. We stopped communicating, we stopped fighting. And I did get to a point, so I'm the one in my family, in my little family unit, that is, that likes to kind of talk about things. So Tim is avoidant. I'm attachment style. I'm anxious attachment style. So sometimes I do run away, but a lot of the times I want to talk it out and whatever. But Tim is like, I don't want to talk about this. I want to avoid this as much as I can. And I got to a point where I got exhausted, got tired of being the one that's like initiating conversations and constantly being like, not sure if I like this and how this is happening. So I got tired and I gave up on the communication, and that killed us, and that brought this big, huge hole, gap, gulf, whatever you want to call it, between us. And in the last 2 years since we've been back, we've slowly worked on communicating and just saying things, and I love it because, like, so Tim now is much more confrontational, and he's very like, now having said that, he's still like not as confrontational as I would be or other people would be, and he's also like so Tim's very good at setting boundaries, so you cannot cross his boundary, but he doesn't always verbalize that boundary, and now he's getting really good at verbalizing it, and I love it. And like the other day, I needed him to do something. It was Christmas Eve. I think I just finished blow drying my hair. Blow drying my hair is a task, like, that takes hours. So I'm exhausted, and I'm kind of taking it out on him, and I want Christmas to be perfect, right? So I'm like, can you sweep the hair from the floor from my hair? And he was like, no. And initially I was offended. Bear in mind, this is like 1 or 2 a.m., right? So we're both exhausted. And I was offended. And then I was just like, he spoke. And he stood up and he set this boundary. And I was just like, I want to be annoyed, but also he's exhausted. He's just peeled all these potatoes and carrots in preparation for tomorrow. And, and I was just like, I just love that he let me know rather than doing it begrudgingly. So I want to encourage you to speak the darkness out. Always. And learn who to speak to, how to speak, as well. So these are things that I'm learning. Speak with kindness. You can say the most difficult thing in the kindest way, and it can be received so well by how you say it. And also, if you're speaking your depression, you're speaking your feelings of anxiety, your feelings of isolation, loneliness, whatever, find the right people, the safe people to talk to, because some people will do you more harm than good. So speak it out, but keep an eye out on how you speak and also who you speak to, but don't stop speaking, especially in this era of, we're all isolated, we're in another lockdown. Everything is crazy. We're feeling really isolated and alone. If we stop talking, we're all gonna go crazy. And that's not what we want. So speak and never, ever, ever stop. But yes, of course, learn how to listen actively. This is something that I'm been learning like all my life. So yeah, learn how to listen actively. So be that person for someone else. If somebody needs to speak their darkness out, be that active listener that does not give advice or judge or condemn, but is there. But also find the safe people and find a great and kind way of confronting people if you need to. So that is all I wanted to say, and God bless y'all.